Harry's Wife, part 97.42, Downward Spiral, Bringing Up the Past. I've explained to you in parts passim why narcissists bring up the past. It's done in order to control the now, to draw fuel in the now, to acquire character traits in the now, and residual benefits in the now. Ordinarily, that which has come to pass is consigned to oblivion, save where the narcissism determines it can be resurrected at any given moment, sometimes years later, maybe minutes later, even when you think that it has been buried dead, in order to assist with the things that we require, namely the prime aims. Harry's Wife repeatedly brings up the past. Undoubtedly there will be instances that we're not privy to, but one knows about as a consequence of my extensive knowledge about my kind, that she will bring up the past with the Prince of Pink pancakes as she applies the cattle prods to his throbbing gonads, and she reminds him of past transgressions that he has committed, and of course that have been committed against her, commensurate with her status as a mid-range narcissist utilizing pity plays. They question Archie's skin colour. Harry, have you forgotten that? They didn't give me any support when I was suicidal, Harry. Have you forgotten that? Catherine, my nemesis, made me cry. Have you forgotten that, Harry? Harry, you forgot to defrost the turkey, and therefore we had nothing to eat, you dolt. Do you remember when you did that? And, of course, as I have explained in my excellent video, the truth, the half-truth, and nowhere near the truth, the narcissist will also use the truth, the half-truth, and nowhere near the truth when it comes to bringing up the past. Bringing up events that actually happened, bringing up events and twisting them, and completely inventing events, in order, again, to attain those prime aims. Harry's Wife continues to bring up the past, and we've seen that just recently. Why? Well, of course, to achieve the prime aims, and that's because there is an absence of things that she's able to do and say in the moment to enable her to get to the prime aims. So she's left scraping around the bottom of the barrel, resurrecting events. Sometimes it's the marriage from 2018, the engagement from 2017, events at Frogmore House, from 2018 and 2017. As was detailed in parts passim. And now she's at it again through the PR machine, through the Daily Express. Now, the Daily Express is a strange beast. It had for years a complete obsession with Diana, Princess of Wales, and her demise. Now, it's a chameleon itself. Some days it sends out anti-Harry's Wife material, other days pro-Harry's Wife's material. But here, in an article by Katie Harris, it declares, Queen of the People. Harry's Wife's touching video message sends royal fans into a frenzy. And this was released on June 27th, just 2 days ago. The Duchess of Sussex filmed a video message for a competitor's daughter at the Invictus Games in The Hague in April. So, an event that's only just happened, simply 2 months ago, is having to be brought up again in order to assert control through the readership, in order to satisfy the needs of Harry's Wife. The article continues by stating, the clip of Harry's Wife was shared on Twitter by a fan over the weekend, prompting praise from other followers. So as a consequence of that, the fan base, which may well, of course, be orchestrated by the PR machine that is Harry's Wife, or it's done completely independently, is bringing up the past, and then the PR machine seizes on this. A little bit in the way that it seized upon the private communication that was sent from the fellow Polo wife in order to assert control and draw the benefits from that by releasing that publication. Here, the PR machine does it again, but utilising a past event that's been tweeted about just recently. One Twitter user with the handle Majtesi commented, OMG, I'm saving this for a rewatch. Anytime I want to see live Harry's Wife, close to heart Harry's Wife, Queen of the People. Yes. Well, another ATODS M1 wrote, I love this. A third, Daisy Ha 587138895, was that not Elon Musk's child, added, gosh, she's beautiful, inside and out. In the video, which racked up hundreds, only hundreds, of likes and retweets, Harry's wife smiles as she says a message for the competitor's daughter. The former actress says, sending big hellos and lots of thanks for your dad being here. He's going to have a great week. The competitor grins as he stands alongside the Duchess in the clip. Harry's wife joined Prince Harry for the first few days of the Invictus Games in the Netherlands before heading back to the US. The Duke of Sussex founded the Invictus Games to aid the rehabilitation of injured or sick military personnel and veterans from across the globe by giving them the challenge of competing in sporting events similar to the Paralympics. Former soldier Bunker Harry was inspired after attending the Warrior Games in Colorado in 2013 and seeing how the challenge of competitive sports aided the recovery of injured members of the American forces. The event earlier this year was delayed from 2020 due to the COVID pandemic. Harry's wife gushed over her husband as she introduced him at the opening ceremony of the Invictus Games. The Duchess said, "It is my distinguished honour to introduce someone that I think you'll all be very excited to hear from. He has also spent many late nights and early mornings in the chicken coop planning for these games to make them as perfect as possible for each of you. I could not love and respect him at all, I beg your pardon. I could not love and respect him more, and I know that all of you feel the same, because he is your fellow veteran, having served 2 tours of duty in Afghanistan and 10 years of military service. He is the founder of the Invictus Games and the father to our 2 little ones, Archie and Lily. Please welcome my incredible husband, Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, Prince of Pink Pancakes, quaffer of the ale, shaker of the touche. The Sussexes are living in California after quitting royal duties in 2020. And there ends the article. Now, why did she give him, of course, such a pleasant introduction? Well, part of it was facade management. It was being done in public, and of course he was receiving a respite period where he's complimented and flattered. And of course it's done because she deems him an extension of her, and therefore the applause that he receives for his appearance at the Invictus Games is really her receipt of applause because she generated it. In her world, it then becomes her fuel. Of course, as we know, it was the Harry's wife's games. So that explains that. But of course, the fact that the Daily Express has been motivated, no doubt, by the PR dollars to report upon something that happened merely 2 months ago again, and to report upon some quite vacuous and mindless tweets which were probably generated by bots, demonstrates once again the downward spiral which is increasing in pace. This is the scraping that goes on. To resurrect something that was only 2 months ago, again to assert control, and have to make reference to some tweets for the purposes of gaining that control and fuel. It smacks of desperation. And as I mentioned yesterday, we're not smelling cut grass, we're not smelling petrol, we're not smelling sandalwood. We're smelling the stench of desperation that is occurring. The fact that this must be done by her in order to assert control and draw fuel. But what do the good folk of the Daily Express comments section have to say? Well, it's always worth a root around in there for our edification and amusement. Rooty Toot declares, "Gosh, these post-Jubilee attempts at rehabilitation are becoming ever more farcical. Queen of people's hearts, anyone?" Tony Ray states, "Royal fans are not delighted at anything that me again says. What on earth? Thank heavens Ginge is younger than William. Imagine that Dinge as queen if Ginge succeeded Charles." China Chon states very firmly she will never ever represent or speak for me. Oriah 68, LOL, oh please, that is the funniest thing I've seen this week. Topsy Turvy, reeks of desperation to remain relevant. Adela K, Harry's wife and Harry, the real queen and king of the people. And then 98 Tevco number 6 states, 2 Pinocchios trying to be someone. Here Goes states, and interestingly that's under the label of HG, no, it wasn't me, the only reason Harry's wife accompanied Harry to the Invictus Games was to be filmed introducing him, plus a few meet and greets as part of their Netflix reality show, in order to provide the content the couple are required to provide in order to meet their obligation as part of their multi-million-dollar Netflix deal. Susie Q700 states, "Aren't we great? Look at us. Talk about blowing your own trumpet. That woman is so fake it makes me cringe. Her loud and undignified behaviour shows how unfit she was to marry into the royal family." G-Time. Is this useless woman still digging up old rubbish to try and shore up her horrible image? What a two-bit low-rent piece Harry stumbled across. Lord W of B states, "I think he came across her in more ways than one. Fanar. 98 Tevco number 6 comes up again. Twitter user wrote, "Oh gosh, she's beautiful inside and out." Most likely, this is the Markle woman posting herself about herself. The overwhelming rest of the world sees her for what she is, and that is self-explanatory. Famac1 just wanted to mention that royal families are not supportive or impressed with Nutmeg and has been. They are supportive of the Queen and the real royals. They do not go into any kind of frenzy when they need to do or say anything. Just call these false royals what they are. Harry's wife fans. There will be no confusion. MB writes, "Written and produced by Sunshine Sachs and the other numerous agencies that they have to pay to try and make themselves acceptable." Followed by the Daily Express childishly printing the handouts. We all know that Harry's wife in real life is nothing like the descriptions above. As an actress, albeit a low-grade and failed one, she knows how to turn on the smile and fake sweetness to those she wishes to impress, and a total about-face to everybody else. And there are more comments that run on to 180 of them very much in a similar vein, and once again demonstrates that not only is Harry's wife's downward spiral accelerating, more and more people are seeing it. But of course, as I've explained elsewhere, rather than accept what she is and understand what is going on, she will continue to fight against it, blinded by her narcissism. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.